Michael Misa has been sent to the AHL on a conditioning stint. The San Jose Sharks were scheduled to play a game against the Caps.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen, proudly part of the Locked On Network, the number one sports podcast network where we cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And today we talk about Michael Misa going to the AHL, which is good news as he ramps back up from his injury and what that can mean for potential World Juniors appearance. We'll talk about this game that was scheduled to happen that actually took place and was not pretty. And John Klingberg's time, buddy, it's not looking great for you, Klingberg. And then we'll go through some other musings of this game as Sam Dickinson actually put together a nice performance in what was a poop fest known as the Sharks Capitals game. So let's get started with, of course, the big news from today. Michael Misa put on LTIR and then also put being conditionally loaned to the San Jose Barracuda. So, of course, we know Misa hurt his foot in practice a few weeks ago, has been slowly ramping up. Him and Jeff Skinner have both returned to practice. And now Michael Misa is going to go play in the AHL, just as a reminder. So, because, again, right, everyone's saying, well, he can't play in the AHL, et cetera, et cetera. You can be, if you've missed more than 5 games, which Michael Misa has clearly missed more than 5 games, you can be sent to the AHL to play in 2 weeks worth for 2 weeks to allow you to ramp back up. And it doesn't matter with Michael Misa not being old enough to play in the AHL. This rule supersedes that rule, if that makes sense. So Michael Misa is getting to play in the AHL. We've seen this before. We just saw Vincent Iorio from this, the Sharks defenseman playing on a conditioning loan with the Barracuda. We've seen other young prospects. Shane Wright did it famously in that year where he played for like 4 teams in one season, or he was part of the Kraken. He played for the Firebirds. He played for like OHL teams, etc. Like he did it. LA Kings defenseman Brant Clark also did it as well. So I really like this move for Michael Misa to kind of get back into action. We know like the Sharks have been very like training wheels on Michael Misa and stuff. And I think this is a great opportunity for him to kind of get back into the groove and play big minutes. And this Barracuda team is on fire. Noted wagon, this Barracuda team is, and they get to have Michael Misa here for a couple weeks as he, again, ramps back up. None of these games also count towards Michael Misa's 9 games in the NHL, of course, because he's not playing an NHL game. So the Sharks still have the option to send him back to Saginaw in the OHL if they want. But I'm still lean very much in the Sharks should keep Michael Misa around, especially if he has a good AHL stint, and then maybe whatever happens after that. But so Michael Misa going to be going to play in the AHL. And the nice thing is he could potentially be reunited with former line mate Igor Chernyshov. And Chernyshov and Misa both played together last year in the OHL with the Saginaw Spirit, and they were very good together. As you know, of course, Misa put up a bajillion points, but Igor Chernyshov, who started the season dealing with coming off a shoulder surgery, joined the OHL kind of midway through. And, you wondered, like, how is a guy like Chernyshov going to perform, jumping to a new league, et cetera, et cetera. Chernyshov, of course, in 23 games with the Saginaw Spirit, had 19 goals, 36 assists for 55 points in those 23 games. And then also had 6 points in 5 playoff games before coming over and playing with the Barracuda. Chernyshov has also been an incredibly effective player with the Barracuda. In 20 games this season, he has 10 goals, 9 assists, and 19 points, and was just named the AHL's Rookie of the Month for the month of November. So you have Chernyshov playing well, and Quentin Musty, who's been playing extremely well too. You have a chance to unite this line together and give you an actual glimpse of a real line for the Sharks in the future here with a potential Quentin Musty, Michael Misa, Igor Chernyshov line that could be the Sharks' second line as soon as potentially next year, right? Especially because you expect Misa to be in the NHL. The way Chernyshov and Musty are playing, if they continue to play the way that they're playing, it very much looks like one and done potentially for both Musty and Chernyshov. And we get to see what this potentially looks like right now in the AHL on an extremely hot Barracuda team, which had gotten points, I think, out of 12 out of the last 13 games. And we know for sure Misa will be playing this weekend against Tucson with the Barracuda at home. And of course, Teddy Bear Toss game on Saturday as well for the Barracuda. I'm really mad I can't make the Teddy Bear Toss game this year. Side note, really quickly, if you've never been to a Teddy Bear Toss game, 100% go. You'll have a blast. Bring a bunch of stuffed animals. You don't have to bring just one. Bring a bunch. It is an absolute blast. Just the excitement for that moment. That's my Teddy Bear Toss. Go. It's usually a family tradition that we go. We can't make it this year, but it is a family tradition that we have gone the past couple of years, and I'm very disappointed that we can't go this year. But if you've never been, 1,000,000% go. So much fun. Anyway, back to Misa. So with Misa, playing in the AHL, this also potentially leads for him to play in World Juniors this year for Team Canada. So if his stint starts now for 2 weeks, so that would, not a math guy, but 14 plus 3 is 18. That would be December 18th is kind of when his time runs out, his conditioning stint runs out. Team Canada, December 15th is I believe when Team Canada is supposed to have their start of their camp for the World Juniors. So we could potentially see, depending on what the Sharks want to do here, if they feel like Misa could use some more time, or maybe they just want him to go back and kind of just go have fun for a couple weeks, go try to win a World Juniors, et cetera, et cetera. And Misa would probably be the best or one of the best players on that team. I know Gavin McKenna is also going to be there as well, but he would be playing first line minutes, ton of big time opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. Misa would get a chance to do that. So maybe that's what the Sharks want to do here is, let Misa go play in the AHL, have fun with his friend Chernyshov, kind of get back into the, after missing some time with his injury, go. And then if he builds up his confidence, go play in the World Juniors, go try to win a championship, go play against kids your age. And then we'll see you for the second half of the season here, where you can, the nice thing too, is with the way that the schedule is kind of set up basically you'll have a month, play a bunch of games there. We can really kind of get you back in the flow of things. You have the Olympic break, and then you kind of have a 2 month, okay, let's go after the 2 months here. Or I think it's a month and a half, 2 months of let's go. Let's kind of take the training wheels off and let's go with me and get you geared up for next year. That way you can come in like we saw with Will Smith, right? Where you can come in and just kind of jump in, exactly what your role is going to be as a second line center, and you can kind of come in hot and ready to go next year. So that's my guess is the plan. Maybe the Sharks don't want to send him, especially if they have some injuries or whatever. They don't want to send him back because you never know, right? Of course, there's always the risk of injury. Look at Matthew Schaefer, who famously hurt himself at the World Juniors, but no matter, I mean, hockey's a physical sport. If you play at World Juniors, you play in the NHL, you play in the AHL, or you just practice for one of those, you have a chance to hurt yourself. So we'll see what the Sharks decide to do with Michael Misa here, but it's just good to see him kind of start to get back here. I cannot wait for Friday's night's Barracuda game, as I really hope they put together the Musty Chernyshov-Misa line and just say, go have fun, kids, because I think that line would be really awesome to see. So we're going to talk about John Klingberg, who had another tough night tonight, and why I think the Sharks need to cut bait. I think the John Klingberg experiment, we know what this is now, and the Sharks need to move on. So we're going to discuss that here in just 1 second. NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets on the action as it unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is the best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. I continue to hammer the Darren Waller anytime touchdowns. I love the anytime touchdowns because it's fun to root for guys scoring touchdowns. And the Dolphins have like 3 people who can score touchdowns, and Darren Waller is one of them. Or I know the Niners are on bye, but CMC touchdown as well. Again, he's really good, and he scores a lot of touchdowns. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel. The game moves fast, and so can you. All right, before we continue, do of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. If you haven't yet, perfect time to subscribe, as we still have plenty of great stuff coming along. We'll have more interviews coming up, of course, reactions after Sharks games, and something special we're announcing at the Locked On Network coming on Monday. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts, and of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. All right, John Klingberg, who, fair to say, it was a rough night for old Klingy. He, of course, as we've seen a bunch of times, right, where ill-timed turnovers or just gets bullied at the blue line, turns into the puck going the other way, right, and between him and Ferraro losing containment on Alex Ovechkin, who, if you're new to hockey, and maybe this was the first hockey game you ever watched, Alex Ovechkin, pretty good at scoring goals. In fact, some would say he's the best to ever score goals in the NHL, as he is the NHL's record holder with goals scored. I would, for one, not a coach, noted idiot with a microphone, and plenty of people told me noted idiot with this podcast, I would cover Alex Ovechkin near the net. Just me, one man's opinion. But leaving Alex Ovechkin all alone and having the puck come to him feels like it's going to be a bad time, and it was a bad time tonight, as Ovechkin scores 2 goals. And if this is Alex Ovechkin's last game in the Shark Tank, what a way to go out, because that man has very limited times played the Sharks, but he always torments the Sharks. And if you never have gotten a chance to see Ovechkin score a goal in real life, it's pretty awesome to say. I have to say, it's pretty awesome watching Ovechkin score a goal in real life. But lose containment there on the first goal of the game, right? And then again on the power play, where we have seen this multiple times, and I just talked about it recently, right? The book is out on John Klingberg at the point. Any sort of pressure, and he folds faster than Superman on laundry day. You just get physical and just try to body him, he's going to lose the puck. And we saw, right, he tries to get on the back check, just not a great effort on the back check as well. And then the Shark or it's 4-0 on the shorthanded goal, and the game's over from there, right? That was your last grasp. Like, you had to score on that power play to at least make it a game, make it 3-1. Okay, get back to the dressing room, lick your wounds, and then try to come out and figure something out for the second period, right? Then that happens. And like, if this was Mukhamadullin or Dickinson doing that, you and I both know neither one of those guys are seeing the ice the rest of the game on something like that, right? I mean, we'll talk about Dickinson some more later, but Dickinson had kind of a similar play, but like, he fumbled the puck at the blue line, in the second period. It was later in the second period, fumbled the puck at the blue line, but you see the effort for him to get back and try to stop, try to be helpful and stop whatever's going on. Where Klingberg, again, just poor effort, man. And I will be the first. I thought that John Klingberg signing was worth the risk, right? And it is clearly not working out for the Sharks. And whatever hope or idea that the Sharks are going to trade John Klingberg before the deadline and get something for him, that has to be thrown out the window. What contending team looks at what John Klingberg has put on tape and says, bro, I need some of that? Mikey, let me send you something nice for that, because we definitely need that on our team. It's been a disaster. It has been a disaster with Klingberg. And I don't know how the Sharks can continue to trot him out there and just say, like, yep, it's going to work this time, right? It's going to work this time. I mean, you can watch Power Play 1 versus Power Play 2. Kyle and I talked about the other day, which power play looks more efficient and looks better? It's Power Play 2 with Orlov and with lesser talent, right? Because they just shoot the puck, right? And get the puck on net. And when Klingberg, ever since Klingberg has joined Power Play 1, it just does not look as good. I've talked about it before, and Orlov on Power Play 1, let him to be the point guard, keep the puck in. At least when Orlov is at the point, like, he can keep cool under pressure and keep the puck in the net, or like in the zone, at least get it to somebody. We've seen this multiple times from Klingberg. And again, I know this team is probably not going to make the playoffs, but you're playing with one hand tied behind your back, and this team is still just not talented enough to put themselves in these situations. John Klingberg, he's got to go, right? And I mean, again, you're not going to be able to trade him, because who wants John Klingberg right now? Again, what GM is saying, get me that. We can fix him. And okay, you send him to the AHL, then you're just taking minutes away from Luca Cagnoni, right? Or Jack Thompson or whomever else. Like, and of course, he's not going to agree to for a player like him. Like, why would he agree to have his contract terminated? Because he knows the market out there, there's not going to be people clamoring for him. So the Sharks are kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place with John Klingberg. And I mean, unless you want to do the Vlasic thing where you just ice him for a while and then, for basically half the season. And then if he needs to come up and play occasionally or something like that, you do that. But I don't know how you can continue to run him out there and expect different results. We know what John Klingberg is right now, and he's just not the guy he used to be, unfortunately. Like, I thought it was worth the risk. And, sometimes with these risks, they don't work out. And unfortunately, this clearly looks like it is not going to work out for the Sharks. And they would be better to just move on and embrace the future and play Sam Dickinson more, because Dickinson, he looks good tonight. And like, you need to continue to play guys like Mukhamadullin and Dickinson over Klingberg, who is giving you nothing. So We're going to kind of just go through some musings of this game. We're going to talk about Sam Dickinson, who I thought had a good night tonight. We'll just kind of bounce around some thoughts as, again, the Sharks lose 7-1 to a very good Washington Capitals team. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. When I'm hydrated, everything just works better. My focus, energy, mood, even my skin. That's why I've been using Drip Drop. It's a doctor-developed hydration that keeps me running at full power no matter what my day looks like. Drip Drop isn't your average sports drink. It delivers 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading brands using a science-backed formula trusted by medical professionals, firefighters, and over 90% of top college and pro teams. I really like the cherry, and I also like the fruit punch flavors. Those are my 2 go-to flavors. They become my secret weapon, especially if I'm kind of dragging a little bit, realize I haven't drank enough water. They really can turn your day around. Hydration has become a non-negotiable for me. Drip Drop helps me feel sharper, calmer, and honestly just better overall. Right now, Drip Drop is offering podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL. That's dripdrop.com, promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits hard and keep your body and mind performing at their best with Drip Drop. All right, before we continue, do of course want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On NHL Game Night. Every game, every night until the Stanley Cup champion is crowned. Get local analysis on national scale. Find NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. So the defense was, everybody's to blame. Like it's not just John Klingberg, and like the defense was a mess tonight, right? Just too many guys who lost coverage on rotations. And again, it goes back to, well, you're playing with a new guy every night, and we had a new pairing tonight with Dickinson and Iorio, with Muka Madulin, sent up to the press box. But the one silver lining from the defense tonight, I thought that was Sam Dickinson's play. And especially in a game like this where you're losing 5-0, 6-0, eventually 7-0, you can let guys like Sam Dickinson just go play. Like, go play. Like, it doesn't matter, right? And you saw, especially in the second period, where Sam Dickinson started getting more ice time. And Dickinson played really well. And again, I know it's garbage time, whatever. Like these are kind of going back to like the 23-24 season, 24-25 season, right? Where you're trying to pull these little nuggets out of the garbage that was this game. But Dickinson played really well, and you saw him be more assertive, and especially right carrying the puck, taking the puck into into the offensive zone. You saw him jump into the play more often and do things that you saw him be very successful at with London. And it just looked like he was playing for free, right? Knowing like, I'm getting more ice time tonight. We're already losing 6-0. It doesn't matter if I make a mistake, right? What's 7-0 or like, it doesn't matter. Let's just go out there and see if I can have some fun and create some stuff. And you saw him do that tonight. Dickinson tonight ended up playing 16-02, which you would have actually liked to see more of tonight, but they did a pretty good job of kind of splitting up the ice time between the defensemen. But I do think, though, like this was a one of Dickinson's better games from him. And these are the things you need to embrace more, right? Like if Dickinson makes a mistake, he's a 19-year-old rookie. He's expected to make these mistakes. Okay. And like I mentioned earlier, right? He fumbled the puck at the blue line. And again, every defenseman is going to fumble the puck at the blue line. No defenseman is perfect there, right? But we're seeing a growing amount of evidence that anytime any pressure on Klingberg at the blue line, what does he do, right? With Dickinson, yes, he fumbled it, but he was still able to get back and do something, right? Liljegren, I think it was Liljegren. One of the other defensemen that he was playing with has a bit of an issue. Dickinson gets back. He does a great job of breaking up a potential, breakaway because of his speed and his hustle and that reach of his. I know it was garbage time. Wasn't a perfect game, but it was just nice to see Dickinson kind of get off the leash a little bit and go do Sam Dickinson things. So one of my other takeaways from tonight's game was despite the score, again, you lost 7-1. This game was much closer than you would expect. Like, shot attempts were in favor of the Sharks at 38-37. And again, I know, right? The Caps got up 4-0, 5-0 early in second period, right? And they're able to kind of just park the bus. But even in the first period, when you're down 3-0, 4-0, 16-15 shot attempts in favor of the Sharks at 5-on-5. 8 actual shots was 10-4. So the Caps did a really good job of making theirs count compared to the Sharks. But like 8-7 scoring chances in favor of the Sharks, 4-3 high danger chances. Like, this was a much closer game, and it was very much everything that could go wrong for San Jose went wrong for San Jose, right? Now Colin Graf makes a wonderful pass to Barclay Goodrow, who hits the post and then gets stopped, right? And then you just see they make a great play like that, and then what do the Caps do? The Caps take it down the other way, and they score. And we just saw that all night tonight, where anytime the Sharks mounted anything or got any sort of chance, the Caps were able to bury their chances tonight. And I think that was my kind of other big takeaway from this game was there's a very real possibility where there's like a 4-3 game where the Sharks kind of, they score early, they kind of get, keep up with the Caps. And then we're talking about a really competitive game. And, it's the funny thing, right? We're feeling great. The Sharks, beat down the Mammoths 6-3. They get all the puck luck, and then tonight they just get no puck luck. Like, just nothing's going in until the very end, where Chris Paul hits a big 3 to cut it to 42. But just this game, like, if you played this game 10 times, I think this was the one blowout 7-1. I think most of the other ones, probably the Caps win because the Caps are a really good team, and especially at 5-on-5 are a really good team. But there's a really realistic, I think there's a lot of the games are just much closer, right? Where it's 4-3 or 5-3 type of scenario. And we're talking about, man, the Sharks kind of hung in there with this really good Caps team. But tonight, I think it just went poorly for them. So, but overall, I think it's again, these blowout losses, I think are easier to just kind of flush. But the problem is now you're going on a road trip, and you start that road trip playing Dallas, who behind Avs might be the second best team in the NHL right now. So it's going to be fun. I think Friday's game is going to be a really nice, how do we bounce back from this game? And I expect we've seen it, right? Every time the Sharks lose, Celebrini that next game has a big game. I think Askarov, who that just had no help tonight, locked in. I think the Sharks are going to play the Stars very competitively. But it's just this stretch here, right, where you're playing some really good teams here. And I think that's, again, why that Utah game was really important for them to try to get some points. But other than that, though, yeah, I mean, just throw this game away. Take out the Sam Dickinson was good tonight, moments from it, and just throw away the rest of this game. So we'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you're following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until tomorrow, bye, friends.